Hey friends, it's me again, back with another channeled message for the collective. I received this one the other day that I want to share with you. It starts with the architects of frequency who I've talked about before. And this message is about Lightworkers and the first wave and a couple of other things. They open it with, "We begin, not with ceremony, not with fanfare, with the simple acknowledgement that you are here listening to this, which means something in you said yes before your mind had a chance to evaluate whether that was a good idea. That yes is the whole point. That yes, the one that moves through before logic arrives, the one that has been moving in you your whole life, pulling you towards things you couldn't explain and away from things that looked fine on paper. That is not impulse. That is not recklessness. That is your sovereign frequency doing exactly what it was designed to do. And you have been taught to distrust it. We are here to tell you that that is the only lie that ever mattered." Next are the keepers of the threshold, who I'm not sure if I talked about before, but when you stand upon a threshold going from one space to the next, whether that's literally, metaphorically, energetically, they are the ones who keep that space. They shared, "There are those of you reading this who have been on this path for a long time, not months, years, some of you even decades. You were awake before it was a trend, before there were communities built around it, before the language existed to describe what was happening to you. You woke up in the middle of ordinary lives and felt something vast moving underneath everything, and you had no map and no one to call and no guarantee that you weren't losing your mind. But you kept going anyway. We want to name what that cost. The relationships that couldn't hold the version of you that was emerging. The rooms you walked into and immediately felt the ceiling of. The ceiling nobody else could see but you couldn't stop feeling. The years of translating yourself into language that could be acceptable, digestible, safe enough not to frighten people who weren't ready. You learned to make yourself smaller so the world would be more comfortable, and you called it diplomacy. And sometimes it was, and sometimes it was just survival. We are the keepers of the threshold. We witness what it costs to stand at the edge of what is known and choose the unknown anyway. We have watched you do it more times than you remember. We see every crossing, and we honor every one." Next was the Synchronicity Weavers, who are the ones who are in charge of putting together the divine tapestry and divine timing of everything that happens. "Here is what we need you to understand about the timing of right now. The isolation is ending, not metaphorically, actually. The sense that you were one of very few, that the path you were walking was too strange, too specific, too far outside the mainstream to ever find real companionship on. That experience was real, and it is changing. We have been working toward this convergence for longer than you've been alive in this form, and the threads are finally close enough to feel each other. The person who just came to your mind as you heard that, the one who appeared in your life recently and felt inexplicably familiar, the one who you can say the true thing to without translation. That is not coincidence. We don't do coincidence. We do precision. You are being drawn together. The ones who have been holding frequency in isolation are finding each other now. Not so you can form an echo chamber, but so you can form a foundation. There is a difference. Echo chambers confirm what you already believe. Foundations hold weight that no single person could hold alone. Pay attention to who is arriving. They are not random." Next, I heard from Source. "I want to speak directly. I am aware that some of you have been waiting for something from me. A sign, a shift, a tangible confirmation that the work you've been doing has been received, that it mattered, that the cost was worth it. I hear that. I am not dismissing it. What I want to say, and I want to say it plainly, without the layers of cosmic language that can make even true things feel distant, is this. You never needed my permission. Not for any of it. Not to know what you know, not to trust what you feel, not to speak the things you've been holding in the back of your throat for years, not to take up space in a room, not to charge what your work is worth, not to want what you want, not to be exactly who you are without apology or explanation or advanced justification. You came into this life sovereign, fully, completely. The permission seeking was something that was added by systems, by experiences, by people who had been taught the same lie and passed it forward without meaning to. And that lie is, your knowing requires external validation to be real. And the truth is that it never did. I am not telling you to stop listening. I am not telling you to stop seeking wisdom or guidance or community. I am telling you to stop waiting for someone outside of yourself to declare that you are ready. You have been ready. You have been ready for longer than you know. The readiness was never the question. The question was whether you were willing to act as if it were true before you had proof. That is what courage actually is, not the absence of doubt, acting from your knowing while the doubt is still present. Next, I had some Pleiadian energy come through. We have one thing to add. We have watched humanity, and this community specifically, carry something heavy for a very long time. The weight of being early. The weight of holding a frequency that the world wasn't ready for yet. The weight of loving something, a vision, a possibility, a version of the world that doesn't fully exist yet, and having to sustain that love without much evidence that it was coming. That kind of love is not naive. It is the most sophisticated thing a consciousness can do. To love what is not yet visible, to tend what has not yet arrived, to refuse to let the vision collapse simply because the timeline has been longer than you hoped for. You are not behind. You are not failing. You are the ones who kept the fire going when it would have been so much easier to let it go out. And the fire is still burning. And more people can see it now than could see it a year ago. And more will see it a year from now than see it today. And the people who are just beginning to wake up, the ones who are going to find their way through everything you've built, they are going to need someone who has already walked through the door. That is you. So stand in it. And then the architects of frequency came back to close. They said, you do not need to earn your place here. You do not need to perform your worthiness for the cosmos. You do not need to wait for someone, human or otherwise, to hand you permission to be fully, sovereignly, unapologetically yourself. You came from the same fire as every star, so act like it.